So let's move in to matchups of the week since I did the power rankings. And now that we have confirmation on Tennessee, Pittsburgh being moved, took a look at this week's matchups. I think there's two interesting games that could have been games of the week. And then I think the bottom tier you could pick and choose. I just went by based on matchups because you have one team that's 2-1, and unfortunately we have a team that is still winless. I didn't expect to be in this position, obviously. So you have 0-3 taking on 2-1. David gets a very easy W against Andre's team. Andre's team did not show up after dropping 120, whatever it was, 4 or something like that. But David survived that. He's 2-1 without Christian McCaffrey. You gotta like it. There are some concerns, but still. And then of course the Team 0RB, which obviously hurts, but it's my turn, or my team, 0-3. When you look at the teams, I think there's a lot more depth on my side of the ball, considering he doesn't have Christian McCaffrey. Let's see how it is. Kyler Murray and Patrick Mahomes, they're going to go at it. It's a good matchup. Thing we have to keep an eye on, and I know you have him, but it could also affect my quarterback play. DeAndre Hopkins is missed practice the last 2 days. It's an ankle injury. Maybe they're just keeping him cautious. It's something we didn't hear about. If he's limited even in Friday, he's going to be out there. The Carolina Panthers, they rank good against it's a tough matchup for quarterbacks, but it's not really the case. It's because people just run all over them for, obvious reasons. His defense is atrocious. I think Kyler Murray should have a lot of running room, which helps him. Pat Mahomes, it doesn't matter who he's matched up against, he's going to get the job done. I think the Chargers game, which he was still fine in, was probably his worst performance. No, actually, first 2 games, but dropped the 40-something on Baltimore. So you got to love it, man. You got to love it. And maybe that's because they're missing Earl Thomas back there. The middle of the field was just wide open for Mahomes. They're at home against New England, talking about Mahomes. Kyler, has a good floor, and so does Mahomes. I think both are flirting. Oh, Mahomes, obviously, an elite category. Murray's kind of flirting with that. It's always going to be mid to high 20s with some sprinkled in 30-point games. I'm expecting if Hopkins can't go, this is going to be a big rushing game for Kyler Murray because these receivers, even Christian Kirk, they're not getting open. Hopefully that opens the gates for Andy Isabella. But with all that being said, and I know New England's defense has given the Chiefs fits, it's not going to happen, though. I'm actually going to give a slight edge with the uncertainty of DeAndre Hopkins. I'm going to give the slight edge to David in this one. I think Mahomes definitely has 30-point plus upside. I think Murray, best case scenario is in the 30s. It's just because I don't know about Hopkins' situation where I'll lean that side. Receiver matchups, Hopkins obviously questionable, and then you have Preston Williams, who is getting a very generous 11-point projection. Now, Preston Williams has been probably, up to this point, biggest disappointment in the Miami passing attack. I think Parker's been getting his targets. Gesicki's been decent, not great. This is a matchup where you're able to throw on them. And I think Parker can do that. I think Williams can do that. So it's funny because we both have opposites of each other. And obviously, Ty Lockett. I'm going to give the edge to myself on this one. Lockett and Parker in the same game is a good run back stack. I think Lockett, the reason why I took him in the third is just, not because I thought Russ was actually going to cook like he is right now, but the slot receiver for Russell Wilson always just produces, so I like that. I think Hopkins is a little questionable on the injury front. Don't really buy into it as of right now because we don't have a lot of information. So give me my receivers in this matchup. The thing with Parker is because of his hamstring now, he's had a week and a half to kind of recover. I don't think it's going to be deep down the field jump ball Devontae Parker. He's only running a lot of comebacks, slants, getting inside, but these Seattle corners will back off, which means that he could have a very Flory-esque game with a touchdown. It's like something like 8 for 80 and a touch. I could definitely see that in the realm of possibility. Preston Williams is kind of like the second option. I think Fitzpatrick loves Parker the most, but I think from trailing from behind, I think this is very interesting that Preston Williams is also involved in this matchup. So Hopkins, I think alone is the best receiver, but I think there's more guaranteed targets on my side, so I'll lean that slight edge there. David, I'll admit, you know how I feel about David Johnson, but I think this is a get right matchup for him. Okay, I still don't like him long term, season long. Not a fan. Mark Ingram is the biggest concern here now. I don't know. They're just content using four backs, and I couldn't have called that. You know, he was falling into the fifth round, and I thought it was a good value if you were missing out on a running back, and it's just not working out. But you should be fine in this matchup. I think David Johnson alone has a touchdown in his realm of possibility. As of right now, I know Josh Kelly was going to be starting, but against the Tampa Bay front, I'm not going to like that. That's an Austin Eckler type of game. So I'm going to do the coin flip touchdown, especially if Akers is out. Malcolm Brown is still getting goal line work and third down work. I have to be as thorough with my evaluations as this. So Jeff Wilson, you know, Mostert, I think, gets held out yet again. He didn't do anything on the ground, but Jerick McKinnon, I think they're going to take it easy with him, so they're going to be in a split. So we'll see. I know he's projected 8, but he's touchdown or nothing, and both of these guys are touchdown or nothing, bottom line. So for that, I think David Johnson alone has potential to outscore both of my running backs, and you might not even have to have Ingram do that much. Speaking of disappointments, Evan Ingram, and then I have Dalton Schultz. Look, it's a tight end. I don't care. Schultz is in a high-powered passing attack. I'm just upset because this could have been Blake Jarwin. 17 points, 6 points. It's kind of like the tight end, you know, evaluation. Cleveland has been very generous against tight ends, so maybe there's a flow chart here. I think people are trying to attack the Saints against tight ends. So either or, man. You know, I don't like either of these guys. If you ask me who has more chances to score a touchdown in this one, it's probably Dalton Schultz, which is gross of how bad Evan Ingram has been. But I am not taking a clear-cut winner in this one. This is an interesting one. Sammy Watkins and Christian Kirk is now back, so you're really trying to cock-block Kyler Murray touchdowns. The only way this goes wrong for you is if Kyler Murray just gets a whole bunch of rushing touchdowns. Kirk practicing, and I know it's because of James Washington with the game being delayed and Deshaun Jackson, who knows what's going on with that. I don't know what to have. The problem with Christian Kirk now is he might not even get the targets if Isabella is cutting into his target share. I must say, other than him getting hurt, Sammy Watkins has been relevant for 2 out of 3 weeks, which couldn't have called it myself. So you have that stat going. I am a little nervous about Sammy Watkins, I'm not going to lie to you, because he is very good against the New England Patriots because he is the guy that is going to be open underneath. It's very hard to game plan. I don't know how Belichick's going to do it. My guess is McCourty keeps an eye on Kelsey, which means that the other corners, you know, they're going to have their hands full, and I think Watkins is going to be leaned on heavily. I do like Clyde Edwards-Helaire as the best chief overall to score the most points, but it's not a bad flyer. On the flip side, Robert Woods is doing what I think all of us knew he was going to do. He was going to be a great floor. He'll always get into the teens. He's probably not going to have a lot of 20-point games this year, but he'll always be just the teens, and that's it. Speaking of a guy that I thought was going to be very flory, who has not been that flory, DJ Moore. I'm throwing out last week's script in the bag, trash, whatever you want to call it. They got up early, which was bad for the passing attack. I don't expect that against the Arizona Cardinals. I think this is a game where they're going to have to, you know, be efficient on their passing game. He's running more deeper routes, and that, to me, take it for it out as it is, okay. I don't know how I feel about it. I still think DJ Moore is fine. He's still the wide receiver to own in the Carolina Panthers. I know a lot of people think that Robbie Anderson might leapfrog him. I'm not ready to go that route yet. Arizona has not been great against wide receivers, but I feel like they're beatable. I don't know. It's a weird matchup, and the usage is like getting me really puzzled. So I don't know. But Kansas City and Seattle, they're both great defenses. Kansas City will be playing from ahead. Seattle should be doing the same, and it's Fitzpatrick. So, you know, even though their defense is banged up, you got turnovers. So keys to victory, because I don't pick a winner against myself, even though I am 0-3. David, man, if you got benefited of strength of schedule, you know, great for you, especially with all the injuries that you've had to deal with. Mahomes, Hopkins have to do their thing, which I think they've done for you every single week. But you need a David Johnson game because that alone will then force my receivers to kind of have career days. Keep in mind, I did put up 135, but that was also with a 3-touchdown game from Lockett and a 20-point outburst from Jeff Wilson. And everybody else kind of, you know, wasn't really that great. I mean, if you want to be nitpicky about it. So I think the game scripts, if you're asking me, I think they bode well more on my side because I do expect Carolina to trail. I do expect the Rams to be up for Malcolm Brown. So it's going to be interesting. It's really, really interesting here. My key to victory, honestly, man, I need one of the running backs to at least get into double digits. I think the other key to victory is DJ Moore has to be the target hog in this offense. Arizona has to come out slinging or up in the game. And I am nervous because I know this is weird. It'll suck for you, David. But if Hopkins does get ruled out, this could really shoot my this could be bad on my part because now Murray's upside might go down unless he runs all over the field. And then that means that DJ Moore might not get a lot of targets because Matt Rule might be very, very conservative on the play calling end of things. But the pace of play, though, I love when I have people on the Cardinals or going up against the Cardinals because the pace of play gives them more opportunities. That's what I basically said. I think the receivers, I need at least 3 or 4 to hit, considering that I think Mahomes and Hopkins will do their thing. That's the key to victory, so it should be interesting. Second match, this one was, in my personal opinion, I could have put this as the lowest matchup of the week, but because of record, well, both are 1 and 2, I believe, right? Hold on. So I think record-wise, it is kind of even, so I want to touch on it a little bit. First and foremost, I have one team that I think is very overrated. The projections are being very, very generous. I'll say it again. They are being very, very, very generous. Yeah, so let's get into it. Matt Stafford at home against New Orleans. Jared Goff. If Stafford has his weapons, he'll at least get you the 20. If they're trailing from behind and maybe he even slings it out even more, you need a healthy Galladay, which you should get. Jared Goff, really good matchup. I think that they are pissed, and they just might run it, not running it, meaning with Henderson, but they might just put on fireworks on the Giants, man. It's going to be a show. I'm actually going to go Jared Goff. Tyreek Hill, Marquise Brown, T.Y. Hilton, Julio Jones. Okay, T.Y. Hilton, you're going to get 7 points, nothing else. This is very even more concerning that all these receivers keep getting hurt, and he still can't produce. I don't know what it's going to look like for this guy moving forward. I was not big on him. I did not think he was going to be this atrocious, though. Julio Jones, we've got to see. He's got a Monday night game, so I think he should be out there. Tyreek Hill and Marquise Brown. All right. Tyreek Hill, that's the guy that Bill is going to try to take out, but with his speed and Bieniemy and Eric Reed, their play calling, he might score a touchdown because he's that good. Marquise Brown, Lamar's not doing anything right now. It's bad, but it's great spot. I got to go with Harsh. Joe Mixon, Todd Gurley, Jonathan Taylor, James Robinson. Give me the combination, without a doubt, Jonathan Taylor, James Robinson. I don't really need to touch on any of this. Mixon's in a good matchup, but he's had, in my personal opinion, he's had 3 good matchups already. Hasn't done anything with them. Very, very concerning. I think they're literally just letting Joe Burrow do everything. Todd Gurley, it's touchdown or bust. It's a Green Bay front that is susceptible against the run, but I think they're going to be from behind, and Brian Hill might be actually a good waiver wire pickup, so I'm not into that. Jonathan Taylor, touchdown or bust also. I don't know what his workload is going to be like. I think we're seeing more of a split between him and Naheem Hines in this one, but James Robinson is an RB1. You heard it here first. Well, I shouldn't say that. He's a good running back, so in a soft matchup against Thinfu, love it. Waller, smash spot against Jordan Akins. I would not worry about Tre'Davious White shadowing him because they lost Bryan Edwards. They lost Henry Ruggs. We don't even know. That's not their MO for Tre'Davious White to go on in at a tight end unless they split out Waller wide. I think Darren Waller has a fantastic game this week. A great bounce back spot. Speaking of, I don't know if you're doing your research, Harsh. I don't like Hunter Renfrow long term, but if you tell me that Henry Ruggs is out, this is a smash spot for Hunter Renfrow. This is where your flex play eats, all right? Because the Bills don't cover in the slot. I mean, look at the flow chart. Jamison Crowder beasted. Isaiah Ford, of all people, beasted. And then you had the Cooper Kupp game. So love the call here. Zach Moss, you better hope he's in there because he's got potential to score a touchdown. Flip side of things, Melvin Gordon and no Phillip Lindsay means he's going to get the workload usage. I know it's a shitty quarterback, but Melvin Gordon finds ways to get into the end zone. And they're going to have good field position if Sam Darnold can't throw the ball. So I like him for a touchdown in this one. David Montgomery, I know you're hyped up, Dre. If I had to choose which back I think has the most potential on your team, it'll probably be David Montgomery. I just don't trust Nagy, and I don't trust him as a runner at all. So you can tell me, yo, he's going to get the volume. He's going to get, at worst case scenario, 14 to 15 touches. He doesn't do anything with that. This is a good, I don't want to say good matchup, but it's a neutral matchup. I don't think it's terrible. With that being said, though, I have to go with Andre, because I think his running backs have chances to get touchdowns. LA Rams, oh, I love that pickup. So you did actually maybe now I'm looking at this. Maybe this is something to look forward to as a good matchup. But the Chargers, or excuse me, the Buccaneers against the Chargers is a nice one. I have to pick a winner, and I think the way Harsh comes out dominant, Tyreek Hill needs to carry the receiving core, which is banged up, and the running backs, your starters, have to score. Because I feel like if two of those three things don't happen, Andre's looking good in this matchup because I don't like, well, Julio Jones should be fine, but Andre's flexes might be very, very interesting. And, I didn't even touch on Jordan Akins. I'm sorry. Filling in for Jonnu Smith is not a bad idea. The problem, though, is it's like an O.J. Howard, Rob Gronkowski situation. He's split with Darren Fells, who they still like, but not bad. I mean, it's a good matchup. Yeah. The sneaky starts of the week for both sides, I would say, are Hunter Renfrow, and on nothing sneaky about Andre. It's very standard. So I guess Rams D, if I really wanted to go there, because they could be a game changer. I just witnessed Indy's D put up 30 plus against me. So I know shit can happen, bottom line. Needless to say, I think Jared Goff has a great matchup. I think the running backs have serviceable matchups, and the Rams defense alone, I think Goff and the Rams D could combine for 60. It would not surprise me at all. And the running backs could probably combine for 35-40, which puts Andre in a really good spot, but that's best case scenario. When I look at the vintage one side of things, I think obviously his team's got loads of upside, loads of talent, and I think he's got a substantial floor. I'm actually going to have to go because I am so down on the starting running backs and the receivers' uncertainty. I'll go with it. This is actually a closer matchup than I thought now that I'm looking at it. So I will go with Harsh. I will go Harsh 125 to Andre 116. So I know looking at this matchup alone, it looks like I could put this as the worst one of the week, especially now that you have, and I could go back and do that and revise it because I don't know. So maybe I will put this as the first matchup of the week now because Big Ben is not going to play. This is a lot of uncertain things because I just want to, as much as I want to give an in-depth take on this, it's very hard for me to do this, and I'm not saying it because I can't take the one team seriously. There's just so much uncertainty. DJ Chark with an injury, Naheem Hines, Michael Thomas. Like, there's a lot of guys here. And, this is a team that always gets hit with the injury bug and always prepares for November to December. I'm not saying he's got bad players at all. I mean, I like Mike Davis in the fill-in spot now, proved me wrong. And Kenny Galladay, Michael Thomas, and then finding a quarterback. I think once you get those guys situated, your team's looking pretty nice. So I just want to touch on B Magic's matchups just because I don't want to put any influence on who Allen should start. Not that he would listen to me anyway, but I would hate for me to, choose a guy. He listens and he goes off for him. So Rodgers in Atlanta is fine for you, B Magic. Keenan Allen, Justin Herbert, keep slinging it, bro. Keep going with that. CeeDee Lamb, same thing. I think he's a very safe floor. You know how much I feel about the running back 1 and running back 2 combo that you got. It's awesome. So keep that going as well. I think they both score touchdowns. Tyler Higbee against the Giants, definite touchdown, but I'm concerned with him long term. Sanders, not so big on. Cole Beasley, good call on that. I think you overpaid, but it's all right. San Fran against Philly is also a good one. So bottom line, it comes down to this. If B Magic's running backs go off and the Keenan Allen CeeDee Lamb combo are very flory serviceable, he should be fine. Allen, no disrespect, I just don't want to tell him or tell you who to start because unless you want me to do that, but you got a PPD game and you're still working through some injuries, man. But For the guys that I know that will play on your roster, Anthony Miller, in theory, he should be good. I don't know what his role is going to be like with Foles. Foles loves a slot guy. I get that. I get that because he was good with Aguilar. He was good with D.D. Westbrook in the preseason. I know it was preseason, but he targets the slot like it's nobody's business. So Mike Davis should be okay in this matchup with an up-paced game. Love that as well. So there are some things that I do love. Robbie Anderson in the pace-up spot as well. Keenan Allen should be fine. I don't know what's going on with Marshawn Lattimore this year yet again. He's hard to figure out. So Allen, I think you should be okay. I just don't know who you're going to put in, but I think the matchups for the running back side, very, very tasty, and it's going to be hard to overcome by, so give me B Magic. This matchup, is very, very interesting because we got Krier and a newcomer, Patrick. Patrick, I think you've had some injury issues as well. Let's talk about it. Cam versus Lamar. Give me Lamar. I think he bounces back against the Washington football front. But Cam Newton should be okay, but I think there's a lot of turnovers. Like, this might be turnover Cam because he was pretty sloppy last week. Mike Evans, Jarvis, Allen Robinson, Tyler Boyd. Look, it's really a shame for me to see Tyler Boyd do well since I got rid of him week 1. And it wasn't that a talent I doubted. It was just that I had a lot of healthy guys and they all got hurt. So A-Rob and Tyler Boyd, they, to me, I think will outproduce Mike Evans and Jarvis Landry in this one just because of the volume. Kenyon Drake, Dalvin Cook. Look, this is a great spot for Drake, but if he doesn't do it here, he's going to be a bust. I just can't. Kyler Murray gets all the touchdowns. That's why I'm concerned. However, if Hopkins is out, they might run and lean on that run game. Kamara is a beast, and Singletary has. If Zach Moss is out, I like Singletary. If he's not, I don't like him. So this is a tough one because Cook and Kamara, man. I'll go George Kittle corner. Hayden Hurst, George Kittle. George Kittle, and he's not on the injury report as of now, I think. I don't know. I wanted Kareem Hunt off of your team, but I see a questionable tag, and Ronald Jones is going to get pushed into number 1 duties now. I don't know what the Fournette issue is. Whatever. Noah Fant, what's that? Kevin Hamler. KJ Hamler. Noah Fant, whatever. And KJ Hamler against the Jets, man. You're riding high with these Broncos on Thursday Night Football. Yikes. Buffalo, New Orleans. Give me New Orleans. I think Buffalo's defense is turnover opportunistic, and I don't think that Oakland or Vegas is going to be doing all that. I think if I just labeled everything down, I think I gave David Krier the clear-cut edge, but I do think it's going to get close. But Krier, I basically told you, man, like, I have you in number 5 for a reason. It sucks that you're in probably the toughest division, but this is a good roster, man, and no shame at all in it. So I think you're in a good spot, man. Just keep it up. I really can't dwell. If Patrick is to win, Mike Evans, is the only healthy option, and he just balls out because he can have that production. That would definitely limit the upside of. I'm losing my train of thought. Krier, sorry. Paul, I can't keep up with the friends that you bought into the league because I'm losing my train of thought again. Holy crap. But I thought you played each other. Maybe it was Patrick that you played already. Whatever. This is an interesting matchup because I do feel like Alex definitely has a interesting team. And Paul, you're on fire, dude. Josh Allen versus Russell Wilson is a good matchup. I'm actually going to say draw. Josh Allen is doing what Russell Wilson is doing right now. Cooper and Slayton, Kupp and Metcalf. Give me Kupp and Metcalf. Although Cooper looks like he could have a huge game, but I like Kupp over Slayton. Chubb would be great if Hunt sits out, but this is a game where they're going to trail from behind. I like Jacobs a lot this week. Love Edwards-Helaire. Carson, I don't know, but I know you're going to put in Gaskin or Carlos Hyde. I don't know which one, but it'll be a good fill-in for you. But give me his running backs. Zach Ertz, Travis Kelce, slam dunk. We already know, Paul, who you're going with. Fournette, I don't know how severe the injury is. I love Stephon Diggs. Okay, Deontay being concussed is the reason why Marvin Jones is in there. All right. Marvin Jones and AJ Green might be the same player. They might get targets and not do anything with it. So, and I like Baltimore. Look, bottom line is this. I don't know who Alex would put in if Leonard Fournette gets ruled out. But I still, Paul, I got to ride the hot streak with you, man. Not any bad karma here whatsoever. You're just firing on all cylinders, man. So, Alex, that would mean that you dropped to 1-3. But if you look at our division, you could probably win it with just 4 wins all season. Okay, because I know it's going to come out in this being the matchup of the week. All right, first of all, will the real heel please stand up? Is it Johnny or is it Coffey? Because Harsh has been writing this theory on Rob Coffey being the new heel of the league, which is very, very hilarious and entertaining on its own. So we got 2 heels at 2-1. Somebody's going to move up to 3-1. And the other thing, both of you, because I know it happens, especially when one of you starts. I'm not going to say which one, but you can't use excuses, all right? I think it kind of evens the playing field out a lot. So if somebody's team, doesn't put up anything, you can't use that. Just move on to the next week. Dak versus Deshaun. Give me Deshaun. I like him a lot in this matchup. The Minnesota Vikings defense sucks. Although Coffey has the Deshaun piece that's going to go off, which I think in DraftKings you know who it's going to be. Speaking of, Will Fuller, Michael Gallup, Odell Beckham, Jerry Jeudy. I mean, slam dunk on the Coffey side of things. Nope, don't like Beckham. Jeudy should be okay, but I don't know how successful and what is his upside with these quarterbacks is beyond me. I think he's just a floor piece at this point. Fuller's going to go off. This defense can't stop anybody. I'm going to give you exclusive access, boys, to the cornerback wide receiver matchups. Houston, all right. Will Fuller lines up on the right, and he's going to be matched up with Chris Boyd, who actually on Pro Football Focus ranks as their best cornerback, but it's still not that good. If they move him around on the other side, I think Watson has a field day. No way, no how do I think that Watson busts in this game or only throws it to everybody else not named Will Fuller. It's not happening. Not happening. Okay. Connor is out of this game, right? Yep. Okay. Is he? Wait. Yeah, he is. So Miles Sanders, McKinnon, Austin Eckler, Darrell Henderson, Coffey, got to give it to Jay. The running backs are what make this team go. This is like what Andre envisioned his team to be. Well, obviously we haven't seen one yet on this squad, but Eckler, this is a perfect matchup for him because they're going to be trailing from behind. They can't run up the gut. Interesting a statistic, the running back who has faced the most stacked boxes this year has been Josh Kelly, and I think it's great game planning by Anthony Lynn, and I know that's kind of weird because then it opens up Eckler because then they know, okay, they think it's going to be a pass. So Josh Kelly's emergence has actually worked out well for Eckler, and a lot of people aren't realizing that, but it's a good game plan thing to get him soft and that he doesn't get hurt up the gut. Mr. Darrell Henderson, look, soft matchup. Cam Akers not coming back. He's probably going to be the guy. It might work out for you, kid. So I got to go Johnny. Mark Andrews bounce back, but I do like Hawkinson. The Saints have been really bad against tight ends this year. So Hawkinson might have a good game. And then you got Mark Andrews. So Calvin Ridley, Greg Ward, Adam Thielen, Julian Edelman. Coffey, Ridley might have to go against Jair Alexander if Julio Jones can't suit up, and I don't like that, but I think Ridley's fine either way, which would open up for the Kuth, but Greg Ward being the only target hog should be okay. Edelman in this matchup I like, Johnny, because what did I tell you? As long as they're going to have to throw the ball, he's fine. They're going to have to do that in this game. Adam Thielen, this is a great, I don't even know if it's a good matchup, but in a shootout potential type of game, fuck, I don't know. Maybe it's good. Indy defense, don't get me started. Versus the Jets, give me Indy. Oh, no, you know what? This is tough. I might actually lean New York now that I think about it. I'm not sold on this Indianapolis Colts defense. They haven't played anybody good. And magical Nick Foles is back. All right, and let me pick a winner. Oh, I wanted to touch on one thing. My concern with Michael Gallup, this game is going to be telling because I think they're going to be up. Is he regulated to just deep threat targets? And if that's the case, he to me is a sell. Because I think Cooper to me is still the alpha for now. And I think CeeDee Lamb has his role over the middle. But, Gallup wasn't used until the second half because they were trailing. He's a guy I don't feel comfortable starting in my lineup. Yeah, he's a good DraftKings Millie Maker winner type of dart throw, if you want to say that. But for as down as I am on Beckham, I could say the same thing for Gallup. Gallup to me would be the only receiver I would sell if I'm Rob Coffey. But shit, hey, fuck. Anyway, that's my thought process, guys. It's my thought process. Who do I pick now to be a winner? Jay, before you listen, this is not being biased. Watson, I think, breaks 30 this week. He might even break 40 because the Vikings defense is that trash. Will Fuller is going to be a part of it, though. Dak is a good floor. I think this is a 25-point Dak week. I can see this being a big Zeke week. I just have a good feeling about that. I don't know about Gallup. I love the Johnny side of things. So Watson's going to have a big game. Eckler and Henderson have huge games. Andrews catches a touchdown. Edelman, I think, has a good game. I'm not sold on Thielen. Think I have a winner. Okay? Calvin Ridley being the wide receiver one is going to continue. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Coffey's team, I think you're going to start to notice that his floor, I think worst case scenario might be 125 without James Conner. And I did say, Johnny, yes, I did. No excuses. I think that's going to be a key part for him losing this matchup. I'm not saying that as an excuse, but your running back matchups are tremendous. They are like the perfect, not the ultimate perfect, but like top three like matchups that you could have for what their roles are going to be, if that makes any sense. And I do like Edelman against Kansas City a lot. And obviously, you have some injuries that you're not going to put in as of right now. So I got to give it to Johnny. I think Watson and the running backs are the reason that he's able to come through. But this is going to be a nail biter down to the wire because Dak will be fine. Gallup, I can't put my thumb on it. Sanders should get the workload, but I don't think you want any investment in this Philly offense. Fuller and Ridley would be the two guys where Johnny's backs could just get negated because of that. But I think Watson has such a field day this week that I'm confident enough to say that Johnny would win.